The following is a production of White Lightning Entertainment. This is Burning Rubber Radio.
Larson can't hold that front spot. They come to the line. Cindric is the stage winner.
Guys,
the wreck trouble
here,
turn
guys.
3. It's Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones.
Oh my goodness.
That's exactly what happened. You couldn't do that. They were single file.
Off turn 4 for the final time. Oh, the block, and around goes the 34. And Reddick steals one.
That was almost exactly how Brad won this race, his first race. Huge wreck here, guys.
Oh my God! Great work, guys! Woo!
Burning Rubber Radio is brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching. It's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. Now from the White Lightning Entertainment Studios in Statesville, North Carolina, here's your host, Andy DeLay.
Well, it's not Andy DeLay, but hey, you know what? Burning Rubber, baby. It's producer
Burning Rubber,
Wayne.
baby.
Oh, yeah. It's the NASCAR chef, John Dix, along with me, producer Wayne, this week on the show. And, John, I heard Andy had a bit of a problem with the duck farts.
Yeah. It was so bad, Wayne, I guess he had to take the week off, but, you know.
Yeah, he really had to take the week off, folks, and you know, I got to be honest with you, with the fact that he walked in sounding like that, it's just like go home, just go home. Go home.
Well, you know, in all fairness, Wayne, we got to give Andy a shout out. You know, he's a police officer and he's out doing training today, helping to keep us protected. So we got to be fair about it.
Yeah, so he's doing a little bit more than training. He's qualifying today, actually.
Right.
He's the one thing about law enforcement officers, folks, as most well know, if you have family or friends that serve in the line of duty and are a member of the thin blue line, is that every year you have to qualify on the range to continue to be an officer, because you have to be able to have that level of skilled marksmanship in the event that something does go wrong and you need to use your firearm while in the line of duty.
Absolutely.
And John can attest to that, because John's done stuff like that in the past. But again, we give big props to our boy Andy DeLay. He'll be back with us next week. But this week, John, we've got a couple of things to hit on here. We've got the Cup Series, we've got the Xfinity Series from this past weekend. Arca Menards ran this past weekend as well, all at Talladega. Formula One's back in the news. The Cars Tour's in the news again this week, and the biggest thing we got to talk about is our featured guest. It's going to be a gentleman that is going to be joining the show regularly moving forward after this week. It is John Dirugiris, a.k.a. the Motorsports Enthusiast. So if you've seen any of his content on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, hell, even YouTube for that matter of fact, if you've seen his work, you know who he is. And John, we got you a twin.
Well, I tell you, Wayne, you know, I'm looking forward to meeting him and getting to know him, and letting all our listeners and viewers get to know John. I think it's going to be exciting, and he's going to be a big asset to the show. I
would agree as much. And also, folks, speaking of assets, affiliates, and all sorts of other great things here, we've got to talk about a brand new affiliate that just came on board this week here, down in the land of Georgia. Toccoa, Georgia, to be more specific here, 98.5 WTUC in Toccoa, Georgia, and it is today's best country in Toccoa, Georgia. Had a chance to go listen to the folks at WTUC earlier on in the week here while we were getting everything prepared for the show, and I gotta say, pretty good stuff from what I heard. So welcome.
Yeah. I'm happy, Wayne, to get them part of the family. I'm real excited about it. So, I listened to them, too, as a matter of fact, and a good station, and I think it'll be a good asset.
Again, I have to agree hands down. So welcome aboard to the folks at 98.5 WTUC in Toccoa, Georgia. You don't know what you've gotten yourselves into. And while we're on the topic here, before we get ready to head over to our first foreign fuel of the show this week here, got to talk about our sponsors of the show here. The folks that make all the bills happen and the wrenches turn and the tires staying the car staying shiny side up, rubber side down, as they used to say back in the day. And that being folks at Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com. Say hello to Joey Coulter, Austin Terrio, and again, folks. It's not driver coaching, it's Drive Refine.
Refine. Mm-hmm.
And the thing about Drive Refine is that Joey and Austin, they work with drivers on both a real and simulation level to get you sorted out as far as better communication with your crew chief.
Yeah, Wayne, and you and I got a first-hand experience of that back, what was it, November at Hickory?
October.
Yep. Austin came over and did a fantastic job, and watching him work with our drivers, Bobby Dell and Alex Bacone, and I was impressed. So, guys, give them a call if you need some help, and they'll help you out really good.
Yep, most definitely. DriveRefine.com is the place to go for that one there. Also got to talk about the folks over at MyPillow, and thank God Andy's not here to rib on me this week about that one. Visit MyPillow.com/BRR and use the code BRR at checkout for free shipping on your entire order. Again, folks, MyPillow.com/BRR. Go check out the entire lineup, everything from My Pillow to My Towel, My Slippers, all sorts of great stuff that Mike Lindell and his crew over at My Pillow have been working on. And again, if you use the code BRR at checkout, your order ships for free. And so some really good stuff on My Pillow. Also got to talk about the folks over at iRacing, iRacing.com. If you have not heard of iRacing yet, I got to ask, what rock are you hiding under? Make sure you go visit iRacing.com and sign up for the world's premier online motorsports simulation. And again, folks, iRacing.com is the place to be for the best motorsports simulation on the market. It's handcrafted by a lot of the folks that used to work at Papyrus back in the day that made the original NASCAR 2003 racing simulation. And I ain't gonna lie, 2K3 was well ahead of its time back then. iRacing is well ahead of its time now. So again, iRacing.com is the place to go to check that out. But with that said, we have got to step aside. We've got to take that first foreign fuel. But when we come back here, we've got Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and ARCA that we're all going to be touching on from this past weekend at Talladega.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50%, and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
Our mission
It's simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope. And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber. It is producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef John Dix. And Oh, Andy's out fun having qualifying of his own different accord today here, folks. He's not, as we mentioned, he's not qualifying the stock cars. He's qualifying his firearm.
Yeah, and I tell you, Wayne, we had a awesome weekend of racing, so let's get into it.
Yeah, speaking of dynamite when it comes to motorsports weekend here, folks, as you heard in the highlight open of the show here, man, Talladega was nothing short of impressive once again when it comes to super speedway racing, and especially that final lap coming off of turn 4. And Brad Keselowski, you see him and Michael McDowell fighting it out for the win. Like, it was a legit dogfight, John. And Brad K comes down in just the wrong way, and around goes McDowell. And Reddick sneaks through, and, you know, Mike Joy said he stole the win, but I would honestly say it was right place, right time for Tyler Reddick.
Well, you know, Wayne, you're right, because you got to be at the right place at the right time, you know, to make it happen. But listen to Michael McDowell's interview after the race. He admitted that he made one too many blocks, and but he was going for it. So, you know, you go for it. You know, it's either wreckers or, you know, or checkers, and
that's
went
just
for
it.
And you know, you can't blame him. But long as nobody got hurt, and poor Corey LaJoie, I don't know if you guys have seen the race yet, but Corey, he wound up on his side. I don't know how you go across the finish line on the side. You know, it reminded me of about a decade ago when Carl Edwards spun and wrecked in the on the final lap in the tri-oval, and actually literally got out of his car and ran across the start-finish line because he said he has not finished a race yet and wanted to physically finish one. So I don't know if you guys have seen that. I'll have to go back and research what year that was. I was actually there. I had actually turned around. I was standing on pit road and had turned around and heard some everybody making noise, and when I turned around and looked at the racetrack, as all I saw was a car in the air tearing down the fence. But long as Carl was okay, and that's a testament to how they build these cars. So
it really is.
You know, my hat's off to NASCAR.
It really is. You know, it's the safety concerns are always paramount when it comes to any extreme sport, for that matter of fact. But NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One. By far, when it comes to safety innovations, probably, in my opinion, some of the best overall safety innovations are in the world of motorsports, as far as things to help prevent CTE and, you know, other long-term issues down the line. Because those crashes, folks, if you've ever been in a wreck, you know, it just in everyday, you know, transit, whether it be going to work or whatever, you know, out just having fun, whatever the case might be, you know, if you've been in a wreck, your body hurts for a couple of days, and even with the slightest impact, your body can hurt. And you know, I'm a prime example of that. You know, I got into a wreck back in 2009 on my way home from Charlotte Motor Speedway, and even with the slightest contact, my back is still messed up to this day because of that. And
I've been upside down in a car.
There you go. And but the thing of the matter is, folks, you know, we talk about, you know, from the personal side of things, you got to look at some of these guys here. Some of them get in wrecks 36 to 50 or more times a year. So their bodies are far more racked than ours are as far as personally goes. So the fact that, you know, groups like NASCAR have taken the safety innovations that they have to prevent things like, you know, CTE or extensive back issues or extensive arm and leg and foot issues and things like that. It's a testament to how paramount safety is.
And, you know, my hat's off to guys like our buddy Jeremy Taylor, who actually helped build these cars.
Right.
And, you know, they take all the innovation that NASCAR gives them and do a good job. And these drivers, I tell you what, they get out there and get hurt and flip around and you know, give everybody all that excitement. But as long as they're okay, you know.
Right, exactly. And so, you know, speaking of that too, and, you know, talking about the positives here, there's also the negatives that come along with the Gen 7 car. And Kyle Busch, Man, Kyle Busch was not happy.
Okay, Wayne. Come on, Wayne. Kyle Busch don't speak his mind. Now, what are you talking about?
Oh, I know, right? I love watching Rowdy speak his mind, though, when it comes to the Gen 7 car here. You know, it's year number 3 of NASCAR's next-gen race car. One of NASCAR's top stars in Kyle Busch still has plenty to say about it. And, you know, again, this coming, following Sunday's Geico 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. And after a multi-car pileup on the final lap of the race on Sunday, which engulfed roughly half the field on the front stretch, two-time Cup Series champion Kyle Busch took to Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, to voice his displeasures with the car, as he was one of the drivers that was among the wreck ensued field, where he was crashed. He was credited, actually, with a 26th place finish despite contending up front for much of the afternoon. Yeah. And the tweet that he put out, which as it sits right now has over 9,200 likes on X, right in line equals finish where you are. Try, with an emphasis on try, to race for the win equals finish last. I hate these beep cars. And, of course, you heard that air wrench there for added effect because of the beauty of what Kyle Busch had to say about these cars. So, we got to be talking about all of that one. It's some good stuff. And
that was in contrast to that ARCA race, because I don't know if you guys saw that ARCA race, but, Venturini, they got a great car and a great team, and they stunk that race up. Saturday was the ARCA race, and no cautions, and pretty much rode around in circles all day. But you can't take it away from Venturini. If they have that good a car, they had a good a car. So
yeah, I mean, you really got to give it to the folks over at Venturini Motorsports. Again, I remember there being a conversation about. I forget where I saw it at. Somebody's like, oh, well, it's always the people with the money that are going to win. Well, yes, it's going to be the people with the money that are going to win because they have the ability to hire the top tier talent, the top tier crew members, the top tier crew chiefs, the top tier everything, and have access to the top tier parts when it comes to, getting their cars put together. And,
well, getting back to the Cup Series, Wayne, that's kind of what NASCAR and what the teams asked NASCAR to do when they built this car. But as we can see, you still got Gibbs and Hendrick winning most of the races. So I don't know what they're going to do. So
it just goes to prove that even if the parts are single source, or if they're acquired from numerous manufacturers and parts developers and other things like that, that it realistically is all about the quality of the driver and the crew as to who can pull off the best finish overall. It has no bearing on the type of parts that you get. And
I say give them all Volkswagen Beetles and let them go out there and have at it.
No, John, no, you did not just say Volkswagen Beetles. Please tell me you did not just say Volkswagen Beetles.
Oh, Wayne, that would be fun for one race. Come on, especially at Talladega or Daytona.
Wow.
Oh, good Lord, John. Good Lord. Seriously, all I can say to that is
wow.
Just wow.
I know all our listeners just wrecked their car out there listening to that on the radio.
But talking about the ARCA Menard series here from this past weekend, you brought it up. You brought up a great point, though, John, is that Jake Finch gets his first victory in the ARCA Menard series at Daytona. He got his first win. Actually, correction. Let me rephrase that. Got his first win at Daytona back in February, and at 18 years old, gets his second win at Talladega.
Right.
So super speedways seem to be a huge benefit for Jake Finch. So good stuff for that young man as far as that is concerned here. And speaking of ARCA Menard Series fame, he moved up into the world of Xfinity for this season here. And that big one, Jesse Love, he is on his maiden Xfinity tour, his maiden voyage through the world of the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and gets his maiden NASCAR Xfinity Series win this past weekend at Talladega. And not going to lie, that RCR car, it was a fuel battle in the Xfinity Series, and he managed to save just enough to hold off Riley Herbst at the very end.
Well, RCR always runs good at the big super speedways, so I wasn't too surprised.
Nah, not too surprised at all either on that one. And then one last one we can touch on here real quick before we get ready to head over and talk to our featured guest here, John Dirugiris, the Motorsports Enthusiast, is that Ty Majeski is back in the news once again, this time at Slinger up in Wisconsin once again. And 5-time ASA Midwest Tour champion Ty Majeski continued adding victories to his impressive short track resume. And the 3-time Slinger Nats winner added another checkered flag to his historic Slinger Superspeedway runs on Sunday afternoon by winning the Jerry Bear Priesgen. I'm going to say Priesgen. It might be Priesgen, but I'm going to go either way on that one. Memorial presented by Zurn Building 100. And the victory, now this is something else to keep in mind here, John. The victory is his 35th win in the Tour on the anniversary of his first race with longtime crew chief Toby Nuttleman.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But you know, Wayne, we can't go unless we talk about your favorite F1 driver.
No, we're gonna save that for later. We're gonna save that for later. We will come back. We will come back and talk about him later.
Okay.
But with that said, here, folks, we've got to step aside. We've got to take our next foreign fuel here. When we come back, though, we're going to be sitting down with the Motorsports Enthusiast, John Dirugiris. And I'm looking forward to this one, John, because John show. Boy, that's going to get confusing after a while. I'm just going to call him John D, make my life easy. Well, actually, no, that ain't going to work either because we got John Dix and John.
Right. We'll figure something out, Wayne.
Andy, I'm going to whoop you for getting 2 John D's back to back to back. Either which way, though, we're going to step aside. We're going to take that next foreign fuel. And when we come back, the Motorsports Enthusiast, John Dirugiris.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
Is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Visit us online at burningrubberradio.com for recipes from the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more great content.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click. It's real easy, man.
Now back to more Burning Rubber Radio.
And we are back on Burning Rubber. It's producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef, John Dix. And John, I'm not going to lie when I say I'm actually rather disappointed in our boy Andrew. The fact he's not here again this week, but we know where he's at though. We gotta raise a little hell with him once in a blue moon anyway. Andy's out playing police officer today. He's being the hero we love him to be. So, but we have got to get over here to our featured guest of the week, and folks, this gentleman is about to become a new staple of Burning Rubber Radio, and he's not joining us on video this week, but he'll be joining us on video in future weeks. We have the NASCAR Motorsports Enthusiast, John Dirugiris. John, welcome in, bud.
Thank you, Wayne. You almost got my name right there, Dirugiris. Dirugiris. I'm just messing with you. No, I'm excited to be here. Excited to be a part of the team, and can't wait to get those Dover picks in here a little bit later on. That's going to be fun because I just got wrapped up watching Talladega. Which was a wild finish, and I typically don't make any pretty, certain picks for Dega, but for Dover, I'll definitely make some certain picks. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, you know what? The cool part is and folks, and that's going to be the thing when you hear John coming up here in future episodes of BRR, is that the Motorsports Enthusiast is gonna. He's going to kind of run down picks in 90 seconds for you, so to speak. So it's going to be rapid fire information that's going to come at you. It's going to come at you hard, fast, just like a good old-fashioned pit stop would. And John, you've got information that a lot of everyday average fans don't necessarily have. So I'm always curious as to and obviously don't give up your sources because we don't need people stealing stuff. But where do you enjoy finding your content the most to help you prepare for everything that you're doing?
A lot of it is online, and I take a look at a lot of different sources. And one thing that I love to look at is trends. I'm a big trend guy. I like to see trends within a bunch of different aspects based on drivers, tracks, manufacturers, and then some crazy things going on in the world. So, for example, this weekend, Bubba Wallace just recently had a child. Congratulations to him. I was like, you know what? I'm going to throw him on my slate for a bet to win at Talladega. Obviously, that didn't work out. Got collected. I'm kind of spoiling that for you. I don't know if you've seen that part yet. But
honestly, the fact that Bubba wrecked out, it doesn't hurt my feelings one bit.
Well, it hurt my bank account just a little bit. But hey, I don't put the 401k on Talladega by any means. But no, I look at everything from historical stats to different types of cars. Specifically, we're in the next gen era, Gen 7. So I look at a lot of Gen 7 data because this car has completely changed, the way that I have to look at how race is going to play out. And, going back to the Bubba Wallace comment, I can't really say that because I don't want to give away the winner to you, Wayne. But there was a very interesting correlation between who won and something that happened back, 30-ish, 20 years ago. About 30. That happened on the same day, and he was. And I'm not going to say what it was because I want to ruin it for you, Wayne, but it happened on the exact same day. And I love those kind of things because those are the little bits and pieces of information like, wow, those coincidences happen all the time. And for example, one that's happened this year has been William Byron has won the same races that Jeff Gordon has won. Back in 2005, Jeff Gordon won his last Daytona 500 in 2005. William Byron won it 2024 Daytona 500. Jeff Gordon won the first Martinsville race in 2005. William Byron won the first Martinsville race in 2005. Now, William Byron, based on trends, was supposed to win at Talladega because Jeff Gordon won at Talladega in 2005. So that didn't really happen. But I love looking at that data as well.
Yeah, the correlation amongst everything is actually kind of interesting the more you sit and think about it. And by the way, don't worry. I know that Tyler Reddick won the race, so that part. That part I already do know. Now as to the outcome of the race, because I listen to it on the radio when I'm out working on a Sunday. I haven't seen the video behind it yet, but I heard the excitement. So
yes,
I'm gonna. It's gonna be something. I'm gonna be going to YouTube after we finish taping the show today or this week rather, and go and. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go see the highlight reel because the highlight reel is gonna be good, I think.
Usually is there.
It is, and it was great. When I watched it this morning, and I literally sat in shock. Like my mouth was wide open at the end. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And Wayne, I don't know if you heard the correlation between Tyler Reddick winning, but back on the same date, so the 21st. Of April, Michael Jordan won his last NBA championship. That was the correlation on the same day that Tyler Reddick won in the Jordan car. So
Right.
I love those. I love those correlations because you got Jordan on the car, you got Michael Jordan at the track. Jordan won his last, I think it was his last championship, back in the 90s. And then Tyler Reddick in that, the first time he ran that paint scheme, that specific Jordan paint scheme,
Right.
he won. And so those are the kind of things I'm like, you know what, that'd be really cool if that would happen. I know it's silly to sound like, oh, I may put a little bit of a bet on that one, but it happens. We've seen that happen with Hendrick Motorsports.
Right.
Look at William Byron. He has won the Daytona 500. He won the Hendrick 40th anniversary. He won the 300th race. And so when Hendrick ever has a milestone, Byron steps up. Those are the kind of correlations, like, in those big moments when those things happen, I look at specific drivers and see where they are. So, but yeah, it was cool for Reddick. He deserved it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, guys, if I'm wrong, I might be, but from my understanding, this was Michael Jordan's first time in victory lane too.
Actually, you know what? You might be. Yeah, you might be right on that because I don't think MJ's actually been to a race where he's been in victory circle as a team owner yet.
Right.
That'll be something that we'll have to we'll have to see what the trends and data show on that one.
For sure. That one I actually don't know. That's one trend I don't know because I know Reddick has one at a bunch of different tracks, but I don't think. Did Bubba win with 2311 at Kansas, or was he was that 2311?
Yeah. So the win in Kurt Busch's car was the 2311 car. So that was the win that he got at Kansas that year last year. So he should have been there.
Well, MJ doesn't make all the races, so I from my understanding, what they were saying yesterday was that it was his first time, because I know Bubba won one of the first Talladega races after COVID. That rain delay one he won. So
Yep, the one at Talladega. Yep,
I was there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were there because I remember you telling us that you're like, man, we got to stay down here until Monday or something like that. And
yeah, rained out. Yeah. I've done that plenty of times. I can remember being at when I was cooking for Stuart Haas, being at Atlanta till Tuesday.
Oh wow, yeah, I do remember you telling me that one too. And and John, he was not kidding when he talks about all the times that he has been, at the racetrack for days on end. I think, John, you said there was one back in the early 2000s. You guys were there until, what was it, like Wednesday or something because of the rain?
One time, Wayne, we actually had to take one of Tony Stewart's bumper bars and put it up in the cook tent to keep the water from building up.
Ooh.
I might have an old picture of that somewhere. We actually went in the holler and got one of his bumper bars to because the tent kept filling up with rain.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Well, John, you get to hear all the stories from the NASCAR chef side of things, so you get to really be the motorsports enthusiast here on Burning Rubber.
I'm looking forward to it. I've already heard a couple stories off air, and all I got to say is I cannot wait to hear more. I am excited.
Well, it is definitely going to be a good time. Well, folks, with that all being said here, we got to get ready to head to our next foreign fuel here. John is going to be getting everything prepared for not this week coming up at Dover, but he will be with us on the show the week following. So do be on the lookout for the Motorsports Enthusiast here on BRR. Yep. And then, John, not only are folks going to be able to see your content here, but they're also going to be able to find your content on TikTok, where you're most commonly at, or on Facebook, YouTube, places like that. So before we wrap up here, tell folks how they can find you on all of the social media platforms.
Yeah, for sure. So if you are on TikTok, my handle is at Motorsports Enthusiast. You can also search up the Motorsports Enthusiast. Find that on TikTok. On Instagram, it is at the Motorsports Enthusiast. Same thing on YouTube. Search up Motorsport Enthusiast. And you know what? I'm just going to repeat myself again. On Facebook, there's also the Motorsports Enthusiast. I'm a branding guy. I'm a marketing guy. And, I like cohesive branding. So that is what we go with. So follow me on any of those. I'm most active. If you want the most raw, up-to-date content, I would highly recommend either TikTok or Instagram. YouTube, I'm trying to build some long-form content, put some stuff out there. And Facebook, if you're on that as well, I typically put out content on a little bit less of a cadence. But my main two are TikTok and Instagram. So TikTok at Motorsports Enthusiast, or on Instagram at the Motorsports Enthusiast.
Well, the best part about Facebook is, since we're already over there at Burning Rubber Radio, and we post up the various clips of the show throughout the week here. In fact, the best part to your interview here is that part of this interview, if I can squeeze it out the right way that I want to, and don't worry, Andy, I'm not being dirty. You're fine. But if I can squeeze it out the right way, we're gonna have a clip of you up on Facebook for folks to go and check out as well too. So
yep,
big things are coming here with Burning Rubber Radio. And John, as per tradition, my friend, we haven't gotten it from you yet. We didn't get it from you in the meeting that we had the other day, but Kenny Wallace, old Herminator himself, started this tradition back in 2008. John Force has done it. Kyle Larson has done it multiple times. You know what's funny is we've had numerous drivers. I've even gotten speaking of Tyler Reddick, I've even gotten Tyler Reddick to give it to us. And it's 3 simple words at the top of your lungs: burning rubber, baby.
Burning rubber, baby.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is John Dirugiris, the Motorsports Enthusiast. And with that said here, folks, we're going to step aside. We're going to take that next foreign fuel. And when we come back, oh, God, John, I'm almost afraid to think about what you got cooking in the kitchen this week after the dunk fart shot last week. Folks, we will be back with the NASCAR Chef John Dix.
We scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. Kevin, I need that back. No. Kevin!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50%, and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope. And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
The grill is fired up, and the chef has something good cooking.
Oh,
It's the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more Burning Rubber.
And we're back. It's Burning Rubber. Producer Wayne, NASCAR chef John Dix, and John, please tell me we don't have any farts on the menu this week.
Well, I don't know. After you eat these beans, we do. I don't know, Wayne. You know.
Oh my God, John, you're supposed to be up front with me on things like this. Otherwise,
you got to wash your ass.
Will happen every single time.
Lordy, lordy, lordy. You know, we couldn't do this segment without having to, anyways, get out there somewhere.
Yeah, all right. Well, I guarantee you, Andy's going to hear this. He's going to be like, oh, my God, she's going to green bean. Oh, no. Oh, God, Andy, stop.
Yep, that's what's going to happen. But, guys, we're gonna do something a little different this week. You know, most of the time I do an entree. And this week, we're going to do just a side dish. Yeah. It's called cheesy garlic green beans. Very simple, but I guarantee you very tasty. Okay, you're going to start with 1 pound of fresh green beans. You want to trim them up. 2 tablespoons of shredded Parmesan cheese. 4 cloves of garlic. Boy, I can't talk this morning. Mince them up. 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. A half a cup of olive oil, and salt and pepper to taste. Okay, guys, you want to preheat your oven to about 425. In a bowl, you want to toss the green beans in the olive oil, get them coated real good. Then you're going to sprinkle your garlic and your salt and pepper over them, toss them again till they're real good and seasoned, and then transfer them to a baking dish or baking pan, which is ever easier for you. Then you want to sprinkle the Parmesan cheese on top and bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes. Then remove them from the oven and sprinkle the mozzarella cheese on top and put it back in the oven for about 5 to 6, maybe 7 minutes, or just until the cheese is melted. Guys, they are that simple, but you'll love them, and I guarantee you'll do them again because they are very, very tasty.
Not gonna lie, John, the more I'm sitting here thinking about that right now, that is gonna be a fartscapade for Andy.
Come on, Wayne. Not our Andy.
Not
Andy,
come on, right?
Now.
Not Andy. No, not at all. By the way, folks, there take a good quick look there in full screen if you're watching the video on Rumble, YouTube, or wingding.tv, and take a good look at the full recipe, folks. If you're listening to it on the radio, especially our new folks at 98.5 WTUC in Toccoa, Georgia. Make sure you head on over to our Rumble page. Just go to rumble.com and search for Burning Rubber Radio. YouTube is youtube.com/Burning Rubber Radio. And get a hold of the NASCAR Chef's recipe, which Andy will also have up later on in the week when it comes to TikTok, Instagram, and all of that other fun stuff. So do be on the lookout for that, because you never know what Andy might create this week, because God knows he showed me the thumbnail for John's duck fart shot last week, and I literally almost fell off my bed laughing so hard.
And don't forget, guys, if you go to YouTube, like and subscribe us, please, please, please.
Yeah, make sure you, well, same thing for Rumble. Make sure you follow the channel there, like the videos when you watch them. And because all that engagement, folks, it is a big help to everything that we're working on doing for the remainder of 2024 and beyond. So again, folks, rumble.com, search for Burning Rubber Radio, or at youtube.com/Burning Rubber Radio. You can find us on either one of those, as well as TikTok /Burning Rubber Radio as well. Instagram.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. And boy, I'm becoming like John Dirugiris. I'm just consistent with branding. You know what I'm saying, man?
and guys, don't forget, if you got some recipes you want to share with us, you can reach out to me at john@brrtv.net. And we'll have a lot of fun sharing recipes, and send me a good one, and we'll give you a shout out on our show.
Exactly. You never know when you might see your recipe pop up with the NASCAR chef John Dix. It could be as soon as next week, or it could be the week after. Who knows? And especially if it's one of those seasonal style recipes. John, I know, loves the seasonal recipes. So things like Memorial Day coming up here in a couple of weeks. You got the 4th of July coming up in just a couple of months. You've got Labor Day coming up in a few months after that. And, of course, God knows Christmas and New Year's, and the more I'm talking about it now, time's going to fly on by even faster. And it's going to be freaking Christmas again before we know it, John.
Yep. And we got some shrimp recipes coming up with JR, the shrimp pimp. And
we got the shrimp pimp again, do we?
Yeah, we got the shrimp pimp coming up, Wayne. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Very cool stuff. Well, folks, again here, make sure you go and take a look at the recipe one last time here again in full screen if you're watching it on the video side of things at youtube.com/Burning Rubber Radio and rumble.com and search for Burning Rubber Radio there as well. But with that said here, we're going to step aside. We're going to take our final foreign fuel of the show here. And, John, when we come back, we're going to have picks coming up for Dover this weekend. And who knows? There might be some Formula One news coming up when we come back.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your MyPillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
mypillow.com.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope. And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber. It is producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef John Dixon. John, it's hard to believe that last segment's already upon us, sir. Good Lord, time just flies when we're having fun, don't it?
Yeah, the fastest 60 minutes in NASCAR. So
Well, the fastest 60 minutes in motorsports, period, my friend.
motorsports, yeah.
And so good times all the way around here with the folks on Burning Rubber Radio. Of course, our guest earlier today or tonight or whenever you're hearing this, John Dirugiris, the Motorsports Enthusiast. The cool part is, folks, when we bring in John Dirugiris here, not this week, but next week, John is going to have motorsports picks, trends, and data in about 90 seconds for you. So the cool part to that is starting next week, which I do believe, and I'm going to go double check the NASCAR schedule just because I want to be 100% sure. So it will be Kansas that we're going to be going to after Dover, and then of course after that we have the Lady in Black, the All-Star race. And then, of course, the Coca-Cola 600 all coming up over the course of the May. And I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to Throwback Weekend here very soon.
At Darlington, I've been to Darlington, and I'm going to tell you something, guys. You got to put that on your bucket list. That track, in person, if you've never been, that track literally blew me away. They are going so fast around that track, and the racing group is so narrow. It just, I always enjoyed it on TV, but the first time I went, it literally blew me away. So guys, put that on your bucket list and visit Darlington.
Yeah, because the coolest thing about Darlington is it's actually an egg-shaped oval is what it is. And so it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of reminiscent of Martinsville in some regards, because Martinsville being the paperclip, you've got the tight tight 3 and 4, but the very open 1 and 2. So so virtually the same thing applies at Darlington. Of course, the only real difference is that it's a 1.5 mile track versus a 3/4 mile or half-mile track, rather. Excuse me. And so Darlington going to be a great race when that comes around here in a couple of weeks. But this week we have got man, Dover, man, it's too tough to tame, baby. Darlington applies to that as well. But Dover technically really could be too tough to tame as well, because that concrete surface, that thing has caused more trouble for people than it's worth. But we'll hear about all of that after this week's race coming up here at Dover from the Motorsports Enthusiast John Dirugiris, and of course getting prepped for Kansas in 2 weeks' time. But we've got to get back over here to a little bit of news of the week before we get into picks for Dover, Delaware this weekend here. John, we have got to... I think you and I are going to have to go tinker with Verstappen's car, because apparently nobody seems to know how to get the Formula One right other than Max Verstappen again this season here. Conquered the pole in qualifying. Now, granted, I watched some of the qualifying videos from this past weekend, and God knows you had like 6 or 7 different people in one lap around the Chinese Grand Prix circuit that had taken second place, but nobody could top Verstappen on the pole. So starts on the pole position, and he was literally the class of the field once again this past weekend of the Chinese Grand Prix, winning it again, and was unmatched as he scored his 4th win in the first 5 races of 2024.
Yeah, that team is on it this year, and that was Max's first win at the Chinese Grand Prix. Of course, they haven't run there since 2019, since before COVID. So it was good to get that track back on the circuit and running again. But my hat's off to that team. They're kicking it this year.
Well, I mean, they did last year too. I mean, what was it? 24 out of 27 races they won last year. And so, I mean, granted, Red Bull definitely has the formula figured out, but there's got to be something there that is. I mean, granted, you have a great quality driver in Max Verstappen, but I don't know. I feel like something's off there that needs to be addressed. Maybe a little bit of a deep dive into the car to figure out what is being done differently rather, that. For whatever reason, they seem to just up and leave the field, because I know, like I said, I know the quality of the driver is great, but there's got to be something else in there that's just not being seen there, because it's running away like that. It makes for very boring racing, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. And Red Bull puts a lot of money into their teams. Wayne, I don't know if you remember or not, but I started cooking with the Red Bull Racing USA when they had the 2 Cup teams back in the day. And I tell you what, they don't mess around. They're serious about their racing.
That they are. And but we've got to get moved on over here to picks now for Dover this weekend here, John. And since Andy's not here, I'm gonna relegate him to. You know what? Let's see if the entry list is already out for the week, because it is based on when folks are hearing the show here. You're gonna hear it a little bit late. I'm gonna look and see. Do we have? No, we actually do not have the. We actually do not have the entry list out yet for the Worth 400. So. I'll be curious to see when the entry list comes out. If you know what, I'm going to give him BJ McLeod. What the hell? Okay. I'm going to give Andy BJ McLeod this week just because I can, and because he didn't submit a pick either. By the way, folks, he's so busy out there qualifying with that firearm of his. He's just like pow 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 pew pew. I forgot my pick. We love you, Andy. We love you, brother. John, you're next up, brother. Who's your pick for Dover this weekend coming up?
Well, since he's probably one of the favorite drivers out there and has one of the best records at Dover, I'm going with number 9, Chase Elliott.
Okay. All right. So John Dix and Chase Elliott for this weekend coming up at Dover. I would have to say... coming off a Dega, he's due for a win, and I would love to see it happen, and that be the number 17 of Chris Buescher. I'm gonna say Buscher's gonna be the dark horse that's gonna pull it off this weekend.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That whole team. I mean, I thought you were going to pick number 6 when you were talking about. But
as much as I like Bucky K, I gotta go with my boy Buescher. I gotta go with my boy Buescher. So
yeah, Chris is a good guy. So
yeah, he really is. Yeah, Chris is good people all the way around. We love hanging out with Chris whenever we get the opportunity to. But folks, with that said, it is already that time. John, I can't believe it, buddy. 60 minutes already going by once again here on the show of shows. And we got to say thanks to our guest of the week, John Dirugiris, the Motorsports Enthusiast. But for the NASCAR chef, John Dix, I am producer Wayne. Until next week, we love you guys. Burning rubber, baby.
Burning rubber, baby.
Burning Rubber Radio is a production of White Lightning Entertainment with studios in Statesville, North Carolina, and was brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching, it's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. This week's show was produced by Wayne Owens. Remember to visit burningrubberradio.com for news, recipes, and more great content. Burning Rubber Radio can be seen on Rumble, YouTube, or wingding.tv and heard on radio stations nationwide. Any use of the accounts or descriptions contained in this broadcast must be the express written permission of White Lightning Entertainment.